One. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 27 of One-on-One on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And this one right here, I've been waiting for a while to bring my man, one of the best guys I know in the industry. Better yet, let me just be honest with you. He's a friend, and I love this guy with all my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who has created such a great legacy of his own, and he's got Snowman in the Morning. If you haven't had a chance to listen to Snowman in the Morning, you need a treat. Go hit my man up, Mr. Brian Snow, the man that runs Snowman Snowman Digital Media. Let me correct that. My man, Brian Snow. Brian, man, how you doing, brother?
Man, I love you so much. I love being on. I love what you're doing with the Legacy Maker Sports Network. We've been on each other's shows, man. It is an honor to be on with you.
Man, it's an absolute pleasure. And like I told everybody that I brought on here, if you made the cut, it's because I respect you in this business. You're a person that I have, have had a chance to break bread with in some form of the fashion, and I truly respect what you do. And I look up to you, brother. I'm not ashamed to say that. People are ashamed to say that in this industry because they think, oh, you look up to him. No, I look up to him, man. I mean, one of the best play-by-play, man, that most people have never had an opportunity to truly hear. If you don't know it, go back and listen to the tapes. That's all I'm saying. Go back and check it out.
I just cannot believe that this is my 25th season in doing play-by-play, in doing sports talk. It's my 7th year doing Snowman in the Morning, and my wife is pushing me to do even more and be even better. So to say I've been doing this 25 years, it's an absolute blessing to me. It's a joy, but now there's just more work to do because now I want to get to 50.
That's right.
I want to get to 50.
That's what I'm talking about, Snowman. Well, let's go ahead and get one-on-one started the way we always start one-on-one, and let's start it off with the check-in. So, Snowman, want to check in on how you and the wife and how everything has been going during COVID, how you've been handling things during COVID, and, just how you have kept grinding during these tough times, my friend.
Well, my wife has been my biggest supporter. She's been my biggest fan. She's gotten me organized. And during these tough times of COVID and during these crazy times, she has been the one that I have leaned on. I mean, you've been my friend for a while now, and in times before when I couldn't reach out to someone or get to them, I would get horribly depressed. But since I met Dr. K, since I met Jody, she has been, I can't even describe it. It's like she's been more than my right hand. She's been there. If she knows something that will work and help build the brand, and she allows me to support what she's doing, it's just so incredible that 2 years ago, I was on the brink of being finished. And 2 years later, season 25 is here, and I'm so excited. And you've seen pictures of me with her in the booth with me when I was covering Michigan City 2 years ago. And I can honestly say, she doesn't like me bragging on her so much, but I can't help it. I can't help the fact that Dr. K has been beyond instrumental to me.
Right.
And were it not for her, I can honestly say I don't know if I would be celebrating season 25.
They say that when you find a good woman, you find of a good thing. And that's definitely the case in this. I mean, I was there with you, brother. I remember when you were going through those tough times, and that light that she shined on your life, I saw it from day one. And I remember the message you sent me is like, Darrell, I think it's happening this summer. I'll never forget it. I'm pretty sure it's still in messages somewhere. But I knew right then and there that you had found your soulmate, man. And I'm truly happy for you on that. It's a good feel to see you happy, man. And it's shown that all the hard work that you're putting in and having that support system. People don't realize, like, I don't talk probably enough about how important my wife has been to me during these times. And, you know, when I took the journey 4 years ago and I told myself I'm going to step down from my job at Walmart, being an overnight assistant manager, and I'm going to be a peon, and I'm going to go back and grind and do something I've always wanted to do, and go ahead and make this thing happen. She was the first one to say, Darrell, this is your dream. You make it happen. You know, this is what you want. And she's always supported me. And she fussed at me a couple times, like, you going on another game? Yeah, I'm going on another game. But no matter what, she's always had my back. She's always had, you know, she's always, if I'm doing something or it looks bad, Darrell, you, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And even yesterday when even the other day when me and Jay were doing our show, sound is messing up. I'm getting a text message, yo, your sound is jacked. So I mean, that support system that you get from your spouse. People don't truly understand how important that is until you have that on a day-to-day basis. And I'm pretty sure we got a lot of friends in the industry that would say the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I remember the first time I called her Dr. K on the air. I was doing some picks with my friend Mike, and we were in Panera when I was doing this. We were in Panera Bread, and she looked at me and she goes, Dr. K, and then she had to realize, you know, oh wait, that's me. I'm like, yeah, just pick your better name, honey, and went with it. And it's so much fun that I think you saw this. We started a little fun page now called Tall Man and Dr. K, where we share funny stories, you know, of our marriage and married life. So that's the balance, you know, because I've been nothing but sports for many, many years, and it still drives me. But to have her and that balance and that support system that you talk about with my stepdaughter, my stepson, and my grandchildren, you know what? I haven't had a smile this big in a while, and you know this because you've been around, like I said, for a lot of the fight that I've had to put in, a lot of the work that I've had to put in,
right? And
it is fantastic.
Well, a happy snowman is a good snowman, and that's what we're getting right now. We're getting the cream of the crop. Now, Snowman, you know, we all had that moment where we said, man, where did our love of sports come from? And then you've been doing this for a long time, my friend. What was that moment when you were young, or that moment that you knew, man, I'm in love with sports? Do you remember that moment when you knew that you fell in love with sports?
I have two of them. First of all, Montana to Clark against the Cowboys, 1981. The second one, watching the Bulls game with Pops, with my dad. And some guy named Michael Jordan was playing at the time.
Just some guy.
Just some random guy named Michael Jordan was playing at the time. Some random guy named Magic Johnson was playing, and then there was Larry Bird and Julius Erving. And watching basketball with my dad and watching baseball with my granddad, there was my hook. And then I would listen to Bulls games with the late great Jim Durham. And if I could have a conversation with two gentlemen right now, that if they were still here, it would be my pops and Jim Durham, and I would be in a pool full of tears listening to them share their knowledge about different aspects of life. And I wouldn't even be able to get through an interview with Jim Durham because he is such a hero to me. And my dad being there, forget it. It would take about 4 hours to tape a 30-minute interview, and because Dad knew how much Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr. You can't mention Jim Durham without Johnny Kerr.
Without Johnny Kerr, right?
You can't mention Jim Durham without Johnny Kerr. With those two there, and me trying to conduct an interview, and Jim Durham would be laughing. I would probably on the verge of happy tears because they would be there, and my dad would be there. So that's how I got started.
Awesome. And now, you know, you get that rocking and rolling in sports. But then obviously that sports turned into some passion, some love for journalism. And, you know, take us back to that moment that you started up. Let's talk about that moment that you jumped into the sports journalism world. And then secondly, we also want to know, how did you build the Snowman brand?
Well, how I got started, I was in Chicago in 1995. I was at Chicago State University, and I was hanging out with a friend who checked out a camera because he was going to tape some footage of a game that was occurring between Chicago State and Northern Illinois.
Right.
And I looked at my friend and I said, "Can you attach a microphone to that camera?" He said, "Yeah. What do you have in mind?" And I already had dress clothes with me because I was going to find a way to make this happen. Because earlier that day, I was named sports director for WCSU. They're on their on-campus radio station. So we went into the gym, and at the time, the coach was Craig Hodges, and he gave us the okay to, do what we needed to do from the track. And I had a sheet of with the rosters on it, and with no notes and nothing like that, I did my first call. I just recalled everything that I learned from listening to Jim Durham, who called Bulls games for 18 years, and then was on the verge of getting the lead play-by-play announcing job at ESPN Radio in 1996. I just leaned back on all the Bulls games I've listened to and watched over the years, and all the simulcasts. We need to bring that back. Just saying.
Right.
But that was my first call, and was off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. Oh boy, I think I've been calling games for my hometown team, and it's hurting right now because we and you know how it is. We should be calling football right now.
Yes.
But thank you, COVID. But I started back the first moment that I knew that I wanted to get into that sports journalism world. Obviously waking up in the morning, watching SportsCenter, watching every bit of sports that I possibly can.
Yes.
Watching legends like Stuart Scott, who I don't know how many people can't say that he was a inspiration in their lives, and that crew, him, Dan Patrick, Mike Tirico.
The OGs, man.
Yeah, the OGs, man. The Linda Cones, and Rich Eisen.
Chris Berman, Rich Eisen, Stuart Scott,
Bob
all
Lee.
the OGs,
Yeah,
man.
so,
Bob Lee, Charlie
Steiner. Yeah, Charlie, where you at, Charlie? Where you at? Remember that commercial with Evander? Yeah,
follow me to freedom.
Come get your whooping, Charlie. Look, Charlie Steiner was so underrated.
Yeah.
He does. I still think he does games for the Dodgers now, if I'm not correct. Right?
He does.
Dodgers, the Yankees. Yeah, so
years.
He's been doing that for a long time now, and so he's one of those guys that inspired me growing up. And so for me, once I got that opportunity to announce that first JV game, I was in sports journalism at my high school. We were doing journalism, and I was like the head sports writer there. And I was the only one that really wanted to do sports. Everybody else wanted to do other stuff. I had my friend, and we both would take turns. We would take turns. When I would do first half, he would do second half, vice versa, or I'd do first quarter. And it started off that way. Then he stopped, and I just kept going. And that was my first taste of just being able to, show that love to my hometown, but also get a chance to get in the sports world. And from that moment, I knew that this is what I did at some point in time at my life. And, there was some bumps along the way. I hesitated. Of course. I was going to go to VCU. I was going to VCU for mass communications. In the last second, I said, I don't want to pay that money back. Whoever thought that social media would put us in the spot where we can go and live our dreams and not have to.
Bingo.
Yeah,
right
so,
here.
This
is what drives me. Okay, this is what drives me.
Exactly, and so that's the thing. You never would have known it would happen. So you look at us now, working hard, building our dreams. Yes, best in sports. We do the best we can on that. So, I know that's how I felt for me that first time of getting that feel for sports journalism. It's an amazing thing, my friend.
Yeah.
Now, of course, like we were talking about the Snowman brand. That's something that, if people don't know Brian Snow, people know Snowman. How did you come up with the Snowman, the brand, man? How did that come into play?
That all started 2012. When anybody who knows me or knows of me, I speak of these two games often. The Marist Miracles in Chicago, those two calls that found their way to SportsCenter, found their way to the Dan Patrick show, and I still treasure those 8 minutes I shared with Dan Patrick. Okay, right. I still have that interview. That's where it started because the kids at Marist High School started calling me Snowman.
Right,
and they would want pictures, and here I am thinking I'm 16 again with all these crazy kids, and I'm hearing voices in my head going, "You have to be an example. You have to be an example." Skip that. I'm having fun.
Right.
I'm going
Right.
to have fun doing what I love to do and be around and be around these kids and influence them in the most positive way that I can. So somebody called me Snowman in the Marist crowd, and it stuck.
And you've been
And
doing it ever since.
that was it. That was it. And I started a year later, Snowman in the Morning, on a dare. And I was trying to figure out what name could I use for a morning show. And my goal at that time was to take on all the other morning sports shows and, knock them down one at a time.
Right.
And when I put my full name into the show, I'm thinking, no, that doesn't sound right. I was a big fan. It didn't flow off the tongue.
Right.
But then at the time, I was also a big fan of Mike in the Morning.
Right.
And I'm like, that's it. Snowman in the Morning. That's it. That's it. October 1st, 2013, it was born. The name came a day later. And here we are in season 7.
Look at that. I mean, and it's crazy how it goes. I mean, it's funny because I'll sit back occasionally, and when I get an opportunity to sit back and listen, and like, if you haven't had a chance to listen to Snowman in the Morning, if you want to be purely entertained, even if you don't agree with my man Snowman, you're gonna be like, man, there's no way Brian just said that. There's no way Snowman said that. Oh, Snowman said that. Like, so there's gonna be a couple times that you be like, what? Come on, Snowman. But the one thing I love about you, brother, is that you never back down on what you say. If you say it, you mean it. And I think
hey,
lost heart in this industry.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers had the perfect song, Won't Back Down. And there's one thing my dad taught me when it comes to pursuing this. Don't back off. Don't back down. Don't back away. This is what you want to do. Go get it. Don't let anybody stop you.
Exactly. I think that that's got to be the drive. My man Jay, as you know, Jay always tell me, Darrell, you're doing too much. I said, no, man, I'm loving it. He said, man, he always gets like, Darrell, you got to take time for your family, man. You got to do this. He's my conscience. He's there to just let me know, hey, Darrell, you got to do that. But I was like, Jay, I love it. Like, it doesn't, like, it's not one of those things where it hinders me. I'm so, it's like I love it every second.
This is what a lot of people don't realize. It's not a hindrance.
Right.
It's not a hindrance. Is it great to have balance? Absolutely. I mean, exactly. Don't get it twisted. I adore my family.
Right.
But my family also pushes me to do better. They push me. Can you add this to your show? Can you add this to your brand? Can you work this in? And my wife throws suggestions at me all the time. They're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I'm not allowed to bring any of these in the house anymore because my wife has a pile of them. And I came back from Walmart one day and I had 2 of these and a bunch of pens. And my wife says, look, you can't bring any more notebooks in the house. I'm like, honey, the idea could hit me. And then
at any time, and I have to be ready.
Right. But here's what she did. She walked me over to this pile because she's straightening out her office. And she says, oh, you need notebooks? And she lifted up this box. Notebooks!
He had 5,000 notebooks in there.
You can't bring another. She says, that's why you can't bring another one in the house.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to teach you. She looked at me. She says, I'm going to teach you how to use Google Calendar. And you can have all these notebooks as well because I know you're taking a lot of notes. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
Get him, Dr. K. Oh, man, I'm telling you, man. Now, Snowman, my favorite part of this show is about to hit now. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for Quick Ones. The Brian Snow edition. Snowman in the Morning edition of Quick Ones. Mr. Brian Snow, are you ready for Quick Ones, sir?
Bring it on, man.
All right, there we go. So the first one on Quick Ones. Now, of course, people, I told them you can do one-word answers, but one-word answers are not fun. So here we go. Quick Ones. First one, your favorite 49er of all time.
That's not fair. I have too many of them.
All right, top three.
I'll give you 5. Montana, okay. Young, Rice, Taylor, Craig.
Awesome. I kind of figured that Taylor and Craig was going to be in there. They better be in there, right? Like they should be in the Hall.
You know how I feel about John Taylor and Roger Craig. Okay, why don't they have their gold jackets yet? That's a rant for tomorrow, and I'll leave
Another,
it.
yeah, that's something. I think we might have to purchase our own gold jackets just so they can say, "Hey, man, this is what
Just
you truly deserve."
yes, yes, indeed.
Next one, I hate to hit you with this one, but your worst sports moment, and this can be as a fan, this can be as a
Matt
spectator.
Barr with a field goal at the horn to beat the 49ers in the 1990 NFC Championship.
It still stings.
The Giant, and I love the Bill Parcells Giants. Much respect to them, Otis Anderson and a bunch. But they beat us without scoring a touchdown. Doggone it, 5 field goals beat us. But it just goes to show how great that Giants defense was to keep the top scoring team only and allow them only one trip into the end zone, and that came on a 61-yard pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to give the Giants credit. You got to give Bill Parcells credit. Yeah. And Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator at the time. Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, and the Giants were ready for us after they held us to a touchdown in a regular season game in 1990. Mm-hmm. We beat them 7-3, but they beat us when it counted, and that was in January.
It's crazy, right? I mean, it's amazing how those rivalries they hit you,
man,
and it's crazy. That those 49ers Giants rivalries. I think the Bears were in the mix in the mid '80s, so it's just like it was tough, you know. And
yeah, it was.
I didn't get that opportunity. Yeah, for me, I think lately it's been Seattle. Seattle's been our kryptonite. Of course, y'all have been our kryptonite, and it's just like those that NFC West. At least those two, and the Cardinals. I can't even forget about the Cardinals because the Cardinals done beat us twice in like the two of the craziest Packer playoff games. The Cardinals have been like
right in the middle of it.
Right. One game we were down by 30, and then Aaron Rodgers came all the way back, got us into the overtime, and then fumbled the ball. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Carlos Dansby will be one of the names you can't mention around Packer fans ever.
I'm just you got to be kidding me. Then, of course, you had the one a couple years ago when Fitzgerald just – the worst tackling I've ever seen in history, and it goes back. So it's just like it's those teams.
And this is after Aaron Rodgers pulled off a miracle, and pulled off a miracle pass. A third name you can't mention around the Packers, and I know I'm gonna make you laugh. Raheem Mostert.
Oh no, man! There's a couple names, man. He's in there. I probably threw a lot of. We don't like Randy Moss. Probably don't like Randy Moss.
Moss.
There's a couple people in there. But yeah, he's definitely in there. I'm not going to sit here and even lie to you. Anthony Barr is a guy that Packers fans don't like right now neither, and we got them. So that'll be fun to see. All right, Snowman, I got a really good one for you. If
all right,
game that you could call past or present.
The Shot, Michael Jordan.
Really, the Shot.
May 7th, 1980. I got a bunch of them, but. The first, I knew where you were going. The Shot. I would love to have been in Jim Durham's seat for that. But my backup one, the catch.
Yeah.
I gotta have the catch. Gotta have the catch. Oh my. June 12th, 1991, Bulls' first championship.
I'll give you that. Those are solid ones. I can't be mad at any of those. All right, so man, last one. It's a random one. All right. I know we don't really talk. We haven't really had those conversations. But give me your top 3 music artists of all time.
Gladys Knight, Luther Vandross, and anyone in that era. Gladys Knight, Luther Vandross, Anita Baker.
My man. Yeah, see, that's why I know we here, baby. So it's funny because I had a feeling you would say Luther. I don't know why. I had it. But yeah, Luther.
Do you know how many times my classmates called me Luther Vandross growing up?
Stop playing. Oh. Don't hit him with the notes, Snowman. Don't hit him with the notes now.
Look, you know what? People just they look at me and they said, "You should be a singer." I look at them and go, "Look, I get paid to talk, not to sing. You don't want me to sing right now."
I've had a couple people say, "Oh, you can sing." No, I can't. Because I carry a tone doesn't mean that I can sing. Just because I'm entertaining doesn't mean I can sing. No, not at all.
Right.
So let's not do that. Let's not do that. I said last one, but I'm gonna throw this quick one in there. Another quick one on the quick ones. Where did the 49ers finish this year? Give me the record and
Super Bowl champions, 14-2.
14-2.
14-2. And everybody's, you know why? Because everyone's sleeping on them again. What are the popular picks? Seattle, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa Bay doesn't have a running game. New Orleans still has stink in their mouth and a foul taste
they
from
haven't
being
been able to
screwed.
get they haven't been able to get some of the
gotten
hit.
their playoff losses out of their heads. Seattle's too Russell Wilson dependent, and the 49ers are going through their injuries now instead of in January.
And that's what happened last year. That's what happened last year. They got hurt early, Quan Alexander, and then they got them all back at the end of the year, and it was like boom.
And beat up Minnesota and beat up the Packers.
You already know how I feel about that.
But folks, one quick story before we get out of here. I had this man on my program, and I never got a chance to pick on him on the air. And I opened the conversation with, "This is the only time that I'll pick on you because we beat you up in Santa Clara yet again." And then before the championship even happened, I appeared. It was a special version of your show.
Yes.
And it was in the middle of the day. And he called me and he says, "You're coming on this show right now." Huh? What am I doing? And I was out running errands. So I will never forget what you said. And Jay's prediction of score was San Francisco a lot, Green Bay a little.
Yeah.
And I'm in Walmart cracking up. And he said, Darrell said, "We're just going to pray about it."
We're just going to pray about it. I mean, that's all you can do is just pray about it. And guess what? I guess there were more 49ers. There were probably more 49ers fans praying that weekend, and that's just what I'm gonna leave it at that.
And the other great line that you said when you were thinking of excuses every time I threw up a point. What are you going to do about a healthy defense, a healthy offensive line, a healthy running game? I didn't get to the best part when I said, "Who's going to cover George Kittle?" And before I even got to it, I said, I said, "I haven't gotten to the best part." And I could just imagine the look on your face. I saw the video later. I could just imagine the look on your face, and you just laying down, shaking your head, going, "Don't do this to me, Snowman."
Like, come on, man. I'm getting flashbacks now, and it's getting dark. All right, everybody. That was the Snowman. That was the Brian Snow edition of Quick Ones here on 101. But before we get off of here, once again, I got to say, Snowman, I truly appreciate you with all my heart, man. You're one of my friends in this industry. I love you like a brother. I'm glad to call you a friend. Glad to call you a brother at that. But, of course, before we go, I have to know any special projects that you got going on that you want to tell the world. And, of course, let's find out about the Snowman's legacy. We want you to leave your legacy. How does that all work out, my friend?
On all social media for the show, official SIT Morn is how you can follow. I'm on Facebook Live and YouTube every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Also, the audio through my network, SDM Sports Network, also picked up by Sports Carolina Monthly and a couple of other networks that I'm working on as well. Got a Saturday show called The Pregame that'll get you ready for the Saturday football action. And college football is back, baby. The ACC is here. I'm an ACC country. He's an ACC country.
Yes, sir.
So both of us through our networks are going to bring you the best ACC coverage ever. I want y'all to also check out another friend of mine, Desmond Johnson, and Tobacco Road Sports Radio. We get you ready for your football Saturday, your sports Saturday, all the way through. Go to tobaccoroadsportsradio.com with my good buddy Desmond Johnson. Please continue to check out this man and his one-on-ones and the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and that's the Snowman's legacy.
That's my man. That's my man right there, the man, myth, and the absolute legend himself, Mr. Brian Snow. Once again, everybody, we truly appreciate you all tuning in for episode 27 of 101 here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And we still got some ones coming down the road for you. You're going to truly enjoy. But like I said, if you get an opportunity, make sure you check out my man Snowman. I'm truly one of the hardest working men in this industry. I'm Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network. Until next time.